Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT methodology and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, guys, let's get right into the mix on this Wednesday, January 16th, 2013. It's just about 2:30 p.m., and the markets are doing exactly what I predicted the last few days for them to do. They're doing it every single day, and by this point, you should be able to see this in your sleep and know it's coming. And essentially, what I'm saying here is they float up after an initial sell-off. And you can see initially going back now 4 days, maybe even more. You could even see it on 5 days ago. Notice how you open, you sell off, and then you float back up. Here you opened, sold off, floated back up, opened, sold off, floated back up, gap down, which is the same as a sell-off, floated back up, and today again gapping down and floating back up. So basically every single day this is happening. Now why is this happening? I'm going to reveal the secret to you right now. Essentially the morning session with the gap down, that's the only time there is volume in the market. So that's when the institutions are unloading or there's a little bit of fear, so you see some profit taking pre-market on things going on outside of the realm of the U.S. stock market. Once the markets get to that 10 o'clock time frame or so, the volume starts to dry up. Institutions can no longer sell. Right? Remember, institutions hold huge blocks, million shares here, 5 million shares there. They can't just unload that when the spiders are trading a million shares on a 10-minute candle, or regular stocks out there are trading 50,000 or 30,000. I mean, if they were to do that, they'd literally crush the stock just by selling into that. So what they do is they sell in the early morning session. That's why you're getting the early morning weakness. And then what happens is as soon as they vacate the market and stop selling, the light volume is I shouldn't say institution, it's actually retail average investor putting money in. Remember I told you a couple days ago that we heard that last week the retail investor came into the market buying mutual funds, the biggest money inflow into mutual funds in 11 years since 2002. So that's continuing this week to some extent, and that's why you're getting the float up, because there's no volume in the market from institutions. The only volume out there is retail buying, and it's floating the markets up. So sure enough, we have a market that continues to kind of grind higher after early morning sells, and right now you're actually trading above a key level. Take a look at this level, guys. This level, the 147.10, looks like it has been breached. You hit it here, in spirit of touch there, again here. Finally, in the early afternoon here, it looks like we've broken out. For those of you that know the proprietary methodology here at InTheMoneyStocks.com, you can see clearly that you actually confirmed above this breakout level right here. So confirmation in play. You got the pullback to the level, also the 20 MA. Now we're floating up. And again, my expectation, I said this to you guys yesterday. I said this in the weekend video that was free as well. I said this market will just go sideways to slowly up, very slowly up, but it will head a little bit higher. Eventually, you're going to get on the SPY to this double top, which is 148.11. That's the 52-week high on the spiders going back to last early September. Once you get there, you'll hit a little resistance. I actually think you'll go a little bit higher, at which point, once you take that out, maybe you'll get to about 150 on the spiders, and that should be the short-term top. Okay? And again, you're seeing stocks like Apple rally back tremendously, up $22 today. Great move on Apple. Google, Baidu still weak. Amazon's weak, but Apple really taking charge today. Earnings from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs were solid. JP Morgan's were solid. Goldman Sachs were stellar. Goldman is up over $5 on the day carrying this market. Take a look at Goldman Sachs today. I mean, that's a great move on Goldman. If I go to the chart here, look at this. Closed at 135.5 yesterday and is now trading over 140.5 today. Over $5 gain, Goldman Sachs. And again, Apple yesterday getting punished, and then today, it's actually interesting how Apple just hit the 200 here on an intraday basis. There is some good resistance there. But again, ugly day yesterday on Apple, was able to push up today. Yesterday, what happened after hours, a pretty well-respected investor came out and said, I think Apple's going back to 600. And that's why you're getting today's buy session in it. You're getting shorts to cover and so forth. My guess is, I actually think that Apple will fade off of this and head back down. I still think it's going to the 470 to 475 level. But again, anytime a big investor that has clout is going to say something, yeah, you're going to get a reaction off of it. And that's exactly what you're getting here on Apple today. All right. Chevron is continuing its move higher. Take a look at Chevron up 69 cents. Let me go to the daily chart. Chevron daily chart, in my opinion, this is really where you're looking for it. I don't know if it's going to get here, but this would be your ideal shorting level at the 117.30 level. That would be a beautiful gap fill. In the meantime, you have gap window, which is just below, which will also be resistance at around the 115.35 level. All right, so that's what we're seeing on those. Let me just scan through. Amazon's down a little bit. Amazon's probably going to be choppy to higher into their earnings, which come out in a couple weeks. Apple has, I believe, earnings next week. So does Google. IBM has earnings early next week. Remember, this coming Monday, the market's closed for Martin Luther King Day, and then it's a 4-day trading week. This week's Options X as well. You're not really getting much whipsaw. You usually get more whipsaw, but I do think they're just squeezing the last few shorts out of this market. Okay, so that's what we're seeing there. What else do we see here on the radar? Exxon's down slightly. Exxon and Chevron have really diverged. Exxon's been weak while Chevron's been strong. Let's take a look at the dollar today. The UUP is flat to positive on the day. The head and shoulder continues to form here. You can clearly see it. Let me just draw it in right there. There's your head and shoulder pattern. And again, it hasn't triggered yet. The trigger on it has to be a break of the neckline, which is right here. But it very well could at some point, which again should in theory help the markets get to that 150-ish area, or at least above the 148 on the SPY 52-week high. And remember, by breaching the 52-week high in the market, you'll get the media to pump how good the market is, and that'll coax even more of the average investor to go on the long side. Once the average investor's in the market, we all know what happens. They always crash the markets out. I expect no different, just a matter of timing at this point. All right. Let's see what else we see here. USO oil trading up 29 cents, trying to get above the 200 MA on the daily chart. GLD is up 30 cents, basically a flat day there, and SLV is up 14 cents, also a flattish type of day. All right, guys, I think that's about it for me. I am going to get back to trading in the intraday stock chat. That's what I do in the intraday periods. Again, if you're interested in swing trading, if you're a swing trader or a retail investor and you're interested in the PPT proprietary methodology that boasts an 80 to 90% success rate, come to inthemoneystocks.com and join us here. And again, we'll teach you it. We'll give you calls, trade alerts, email, text message alerts, you name it, it's here. We will give it to you. The research center is where to be. Take the 7-day free trial. If you're a day trader or want to be a day trader, the intraday stock chat's the place. We'll teach you the methodology. We'll make calls. We'll help you understand risk-reward setups. Everything you need to know to be an expert day trader making thousands a day. Intraday is there in that intraday stock chat. All right, guys, take care. Have a great afternoon, great evening. I will talk to you soon.